to start off the second trimester with the sports show.
I am too. Let's run it back.
This week on the Westfield Sports Show, we recap the football season and, for that matter, some of the other fall sports that have wrapped up as well, and to give you some updates on the winter sports that have begun and are beginning soon.
We will also talk about the weird and wacky week in college football and the NFL.
The football team battled a lot of adversity this season, from injuries to close games not going their way.
On Friday, their win streak and season came to an end, getting shut out by HSE. It's simple, the offense didn't produce, and with the windy and cold conditions, nothing could get started on offense.
Let's not get this twisted, Aiden. We had a great season. After the loss to Brownsburg, we were dominant. The defense was locked down and not allowing more than 21 points in a game for the rest of the season, even in the regional loss. The offense produced for the most part, and the special teams was the best it had been all season.
Also, a shout out to the student section and the Rocks boys. Great job all season making games fun and being a top 4 school in the state spirit-wise.
Other notable performances in the fall, boys and girls soccer went 6-6-4 and 6-7-4 respectfully. Girls volleyball finished 14-12 with a big win over Fishers on senior night and a 4-game win streak leading up to that.
Boys tennis finished 13-7. Shout out to the Dietz brothers and Mitchumena for being named all-district. Girls golf had a lot of success this year too, with multiple girls making it to state.
Cross country on both sides, boys and girls, saw flashes of greatness and an overall amazing season. And then I think that's it. I think we hit all of them.
Absolutely. Now that all the fall sports are wrapped up, let's focus on winter sports.
I agree. We'll start off with the team that's already off to a hot start, the girls basketball team.
The Lady Rocks started the season off 3-1 before Saturday's loss to Lawrence Central, gaining wins over Tri-West Hendricks, North Central, and Pendleton Heights.
Offense is the name of the game with this team, so far averaging 46 points per game, with the highlight being a 55-point performance and a 40-point win over the aforementioned Pendleton Heights.
Defense is also a big part of this program, and it was shown in that game too, just allowing 15 points, including a 20-point game against none other, Pendleton Heights. Shocker, right?
Ellie Kelleher is the all-around player for this team with the second most points, and she leads the team in assists and steals and is in the top 25 players in the nation in assists per game with 5. Their first conference game is Friday at Fishers, so you should definitely show your support for your girls basketball team.
Now on to the girls' counterpart, the boys. They start their season later this month on the 26th in a revenge game versus Kokomo. Now this team has lost a lot of seniors, most notably being Braden Smith and Cam Hafner. With such a lull in offense, Coach Sumter will have a hard time replacing the shot count of those two guards.
The 3 returning varsity players are Trey Buchanan, Sam Bishop, and Alex Romack. Rome and Trey have had plenty of varsity court time, with Sam getting select minutes in some select games last year. Trey will also try and fill the void in shots, as he was very familiar with the 3-ball last year.
Some of the sophomores from last year, like Charles Farrell and Seth Laravia, will attempt to make their varsity debuts on the 26th, along with Rylan Rauch and senior Matthew Nas.
A young core surrounds this team, and they'll be put to the test this year.
A whole lot happened in college football, and this seems rare for this year.
The Purdue Boilermakers won their 3rd or 4th straight game versus a ranked opponent as a non-ranked team on Saturday versus Illinois, 31-24.
Notre Dame went into Navy and dominated before nearly choking their lead, but Drew Pine clutched up the victory for the Irish 35-32.
IU just can't win. If Purdue can beat a second-ranked team in 2018, then IU should be able to. Alas, they couldn't get more than 14 points in a soul-crushing 56-14 loss in Columbus.
7-3 Butler took a loss at Drake on Saturday. Brett Bushka had a solid game with 248 yards and 3 touchdowns and a pair of interceptions, but the run wasn't there.
On a national level, Alabama got the win over Ole Miss. Georgia and Michigan had no problems with their big wins, and TCU had a closer game, beating Texas 17-10.
Arizona upset UCLA in a thriller, and USC barely got by Wake Forest in an ACC matchup. Other than some big wins by Kansas State, Syracuse, and Utah, not much happened in college football.
In the NFL, though, it's a completely different story. The Bucs won the first ever game in Munich, and the Dolphins won big.
The Vikings and the Bills game was a potential game of the year. The Packers and the Cowboys went into overtime, and the Packers prevailed in Lambeau.
The Bears choked a lead despite a career performance by Justin Fields. The Titans and Giants got home wins, and the Chiefs and Cardinals both won 27-17.
Jeff Saturday is 1-0 as the Colts head coach, and they had a solid win despite only winning by 5 against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Matt Ryan got the start at quarterback, and it was a gutsy and good first major call for the rookie head coach. Ryan was nearly perfect, racking up a 75% completion percentage for 222 yards and a touchdown, as well as 4 rushes on the ground with a touchdown there as well. He also had an otherworldly 39-yard run to set up a Paris Campbell 39-yard touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor returned to his former self, rushing for 22 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown as well. A great boost of morale for this team heading into a tough matchup with the best team in the league, the Eagles.
All right, so what are we thinking is the game of the week?
Vikings-Bills, no question. Justin Jefferson probably made the second greatest catch of all time behind the OBJ catch. Just so much happened in the last 2 minutes of that game.
It was honestly a really entertaining game throughout the game, but especially in the fourth quarter there. I'll give it to the Vikings and Bills as well. I mean, that was just completely insane. That will wrap up the first episode of the second trimester. Stay breezy and go Rocks.
Let's go. good episode.
That was.